Okay, if not, I will share my slides and we'll start to today. We'll be focusing on introduction to Bhagavad Gita. I requested every one of you to join this class session so that it will set up the foundation of our future classes, future sessions on Bhagavad Gita. Let me share my screen and then we can get started. Okay. Okay. I hope everybody is able to see my screen.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So introduction about Bhagavad Gita. So these are the topics that I put together as like a foundation, in understanding the Bhagavad Gita introduction. So thanks to the television, right, Doordarshan or Sun TV or any other TVs, we got a good understanding of Mahabharata and uh, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is also considered as Panchamo Veda. It is considered like the fifth Veda, right? It was composed 5,000 years ago by Vyasadeva. And Bhagavad Gita is is part of Mahabharata. It comes under Bhishma Parva. And Bhagavad Gita is also one of the Pancharatnas within Mahabharata. Does anyone know what are the other four Ratnas from Mahabharata? If so, can you unmute and then say? Okay, I can highlight them. So one is there are five Pancharatnas, Pancharatnas in Mahabharata. One is Bhagavad Gita, and the other one is Vishnu Sahasranam, and the third one is Vidur Niti, and the fourth one is Yaksha Prashna, and the fifth one is Sanat Sujanitam. So we are very familiar with Bhagavad Gita, and we are also very familiar with Vishnu Sahasranam, where Bhishma Dev was talking about the glories of Krishna, Vishnu, Narayanam, and with 1,000 names. And then finally he said, I'm talking about the person who is who is standing here. He was referring to Krishna. So that is Vishnu Sahasranam. And the third Ratna is Yaksha Prashna. I don't know whether you know, Pandavas have been exiled and they went to the forest. And one day, Draupadi was thirsty and the Pandavas were trying to get the water from the pond. And there was a Yaksha, who is none other than Yama Dharmaraj. And they were testing the Pandavas, and Pandavas one by one, they did not answer properly, and they were trying to drink the water, and they fell unconscious. And only Yudhishthira, who is known for his wisdom, and is also Dharma personification, he was answering to the questions of the Yaksha, with calm and composed. And that was a very series of questions, around 100 questions are there. One of the beautiful questions that the acharyas normally explain in the conversation is that Yaksha was asking Yudhishthira, what is the most amazing thing that you see around this world? And Yudhishthira, right, responded, we see people, dying, day in and day out around us, millions and millions, but we always think that we are going to live forever and not searching for the absolute truth, not trying to, understand the God and who we are. So that is the most amazing thing. That was a very famous question and answer between Yudhishthira and Yaksha. And that's the third Ratna. And the fourth Ratna is Vidur Nidhi. Some of the rules, uh, compiled by Vidur, who was a minister under Dhritarashtra, is a brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandava. And the fifth Ratna is Sanat Sujanitam. which is a conversation between a celestial sage and Dhritarashtra about the immortality of life. So those are the five Pancharatnas, of which Bhagavad Gita is very famous and Vishnu Sahasranam is very famous. The rest of them are not so famous, at least. So before the period of Adi Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Gita was read as part of Mahabharata. But Adi Shankaracharya gave a special spotlight to Bhagavad Gita. And he also gave a special spotlight to Vishnu Sahasranam. And so that's the reason, we also study individually Bhagavad Gita, and we also study or recite Vishnu Sahasranam. Now, as it is mentioned here, Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Shri Krishna, and he was spoken to his dear friend and devotee, Arjuna. If you have any questions, put it in the chat, or we can discuss, as soon as we complete this in 30 to 40 minutes. So a brief history of Mahabharata. So we know the Mahabharata, the Pandavas and Kauravas, they are from the Chandra Vamsa. Rama is from Surya Vamsa, Surya Kula Tilaka, right? And here they are from Chandra Vamsa. It's a Kuru dynasty, of which King Bharata is very famous. He is the son of Dushyant and Shakuntala. So India is called as Bharatavarsha after his name, right? He was ruling the entire earth. So that's why India is called as Bharatavarsha. And down the lane, there was Santanu Maharaj, who married goddess Ganga and gave birth to Bhishma. And Santanu Maharaj also married a fisherwoman called Satyavati and gave birth to other two kids. And Satyavati also gave birth to Vyasadeva. So not going in depth, it may be a little bit confusing, but overall, we know Dhritarashtra and Pandavas, and Dhritarashtra was born blind, and he had 100 sons, and of which eldest son is Duryodhana, and Pandu had 5 sons. They're all, son of Pandu, but they have the Hamsa of, different devatas, like Yudhishthira is a personification of Yama Dharmaraja, and Bhishma, from Vayudeva, and Arjuna from Indra, so on and so forth. So let us go a little bit deep into the history. So we know Krishna. Krishna is the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, and there is a connection between Pandu's wife. Pandu's wife is Kunti Maharani. She is the sister of Vasudeva. So Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to Krishna, and Vasudeva's sister is Kunti. She is also a mother of Pandavas. So regarding the battle of Kurukshetra, as we all know, Duryodhana has been very envious of Pandavas. The entire kingdom belongs to Pandavas, rightfully so, but Duryodhana does not want to give up any of the kingdom. So he did a lot of cheating. He took all the possession. He did gambling with them. And then he was trying to disrobe Draupadi. And Draupadi, called for help. She says, Achida Govinda Dwarka Nilaya. And then she has surrendered fully to Krishna. And then, Krishna has provided her unlimited saris and then, saved her. And then the other thing that was happened was Krishna went to the Kauravas and specifically, Dhritarashtra. He was using all the 4 ways of negotiation: Sama, Dana, Beda, Danda. Sama, you tried Sama. Sama means peace treaty. You said, Dhritarashtra, please give us the share of Pandavas. Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra did not accept. He also tried Dana. Sama, Dana. Dana means just give us a donation of 5 houses or 5 villages. They said no. Or just give the 5 houses. They also said no. He said categorically, I can't even give you the size of the tip of the needle. So And then Krishna also tried Beda. Beda means he was trying to divide, the Kauravas. He went to Karna, say, Karna, you're not on the righteous path. You are on the Adharma side. You should come to Dharma side. But Karna refused, as we know. And then Danda, last one is Danda taking a stick, right? So that's when the Pandavas are forced to take up the war with Kauravas. And so these are some of the pictures that I put together. The Duryodhana, they were trying to kill Pandavas. They were trying to um, kill Bhishma here. Sorry, Bhima. So they were trying to kill Bhima here, and Duryodhana was always teasing, and the Pandavas. They did a gambling here, and then um, try to disrobe Draupadi here, and Krishna was providing unlimited saris. And then when Krishna came for um, as a messenger, and he was treated disrespectfully. So these are some of the things I just want to highlight, just to provide you a background on what happened, because the Bhagavad Gita happened in the Battle of Kurukshetra. So I just want to give you some background and why this war happened. It is said the six type of aggressors can be killed without any sin, as per the Vedas. One is one who's trying to give poison, one who tries to lit fire on the house, one who tries to insult, the women, and one who tries to kidnap the woman, or one who tries to um, plunder the riches, one who tries to cheat. But Duryodhana did all of them to the Pandavas. So that's the reason Krishna wanted to completely eliminate them. That's the reason this war happened. Okay, any questions before I move on? Okay. And I want to talk about some of the Mahatmyams of uh, I was wrote down something. Where is that? Okay, I want to talk about Mahatmyam. See, normally we always have the thought, whatever we want to learn, right? We always think, what is in it for me, right? So even when you do mundane material activities, we say, what is the benefit that we are going to get? So these benefits are put together in Gita Mahatmyam by Adi Shankaracharya. And there is a separate conversation that happens between Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva in Padma Purana, where Mother Parvati was asking Lord Shiva to explain about the significance and the Mahatmyam greatness of Bhagavad Gita. And Lord Shiva was explaining, chapter by chapter, what is the benefit of reading, understanding, and implementing Bhagavad Gita in the life. He was giving a lot of stories. So this one, we are going to talk about the particularly very famous Gita Mahatmyam. Gita Shastram idam punyam yaf patet prayatat puman Vishnu padamam apnoti bhayashokadi vajjitah. So it is said, one who follows the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all miseries and anxieties in life, and one's next life will be spiritual. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about the different ways one can manage the anxieties and distress in life. As per Krishna, this world is a dukhalayam and ashashvatam. Dukhalayam means place of miseries. We are all, each and every day facing three types of miseries. Adhyatmika, the miseries that we create ourselves, right? We have some problem, we have some health issues and, distress, anxiety. These are all the issues that we create ourselves. That is called Adhyatmika. And Adi Baudika. Adi Baudika is the miseries that is given to us by others, somebody talking to us in a very hurting manner, somebody hurts, right? Insulting and everything that is caused by others. And the last One is miseries caused by the nature, right? We have natural disasters, so we cannot escape. So these are all the miseries and the anxieties that we have in this life. And Krishna's, studying Bhagavad Gita and implementing them will really help, because it will also help us to go back to the place of Vaikunta. Vaikunta means place of no worries. Vaikunta, no worry, place of no worries. Vaikunta means no worries. So by following the Bhagavad Gita and trying to implementing it in our life, the way that we handle the life, right? The way we handle the anxiety, stress, miseries, the way we do the devotional service unto Krishna and Vishnu, Narayana, and that will help us to go back home, go back to Godhead. Uh, so that is one of the pure benefits of um, studying Bhagavad Gita. So we always have, this world is called as a samsara. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Janma means birth, Mrityu means death, Jara means disease. Janma, Mrityu, Jara. Uh, Old age, Vyadi means disease. So we cannot escape. Every, even starting from Elon Musk to the street beggar, will have this problem. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. So we cannot escape. So the only thing we can escape from this samsara, this happens life after life after life after for us. So the only way that we can escape from the samsara is, to surrender unto the Lord, and then, do devotional service, and then, implement the Bhagavad Gita. So that's one first point. And the second one is, second Mahatmya. It talks about how reading Bhagavad Gita and understanding Bhagavad Gita and implementing Bhagavad Gita will um, will vanish all our sinful reactions. So in Bhagavad Gita, in 18.66, chapter 1866, this shloka, Krishna says, Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam sharanam braja aham tva sarva pavepyaha moksha ishyami mashuchaha. Krishna says, surrender unto me, abandon all varieties of dharma or religion, everything. Just surrender unto me. I will give you a moksha. I will protect you. Don't fear. I will remove all your sins. And it's very similar to this Mahatmya, right? So we all come with a bag of karma, right? There are two types of karma, sanchita karma and prarabdha karma. Sanchita karma is something like we have accumulated millions and millions of lifetime, and karma is something what we brought to spend in this lifetime, right? And Krishna says when we surrender unto Krishna, he removes all the sanchita karma that we have captured millions of lifetime. But this prarabdha karma, which we have come here to expend, Krishna says that he will reduce the impact of those sinful reaction, when we surrender unto him and, do devotional service. So this is very important. It's like, you particularly in South Indian, Perumal temple, when we go, the priest will have a big pot of, tamarind rice, pulioga, right? You will take one scoop and then offer it to different, people, devotees who come here, and then you'll go back and then fetch. That's what our karma, our past sinful and pious activities work. So we take a spoonful of karma and try to expend here in this birth. But while doing so, we accumulate a lot of karmas and we backfill our sanchita karma. But Krishna says, I will eliminate all the sanchita karma and I will reduce your sinful reactions in this life when you surrender unto me. So that is very important shloka. And the last, and Mahatmya third is like, when we take bath in water, right? It cleanses ourselves. Likewise, taking bath in Bhagavad Gita, it cleanses of all the anarthas in the material life. We have um, uh, kama, moha, lobha, mada, mascharya, everything, right? So it vanishes. And the last one, and the Gita Mahatmya 4, uh, it talks about, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we don't need to read anything else, because Bhagavad Gita itself, it's a, I'm sorry, so there are some questions. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Sanchita karma. So, Sanchita karma, so there are two types of karma. One is the karma that we have accumulated over millions of lifetimes, millions of previous birth, we might have done good activities, we might have done bad activities. So all these reactions are accumulated. That is Sanchita karma. So what we do is, in this lifetime, we take a scoop of those Sanchita karma that is called as Prarabdha karma, that we are taking it to expend in this lifetime, that is Prarabdha karma. So whatever we have accumulated, that is still in there, we haven't spent that. We don't know how many millions of lifetimes that we need to take to expend all those Sanchita karma. We have taken only the spoonful of to expend in this lifetime. So that is the difference between prarabdha karma, what we have taken now, and sanchita karma, what is still in there. Hope that explains. Yes, karma from previous births. Okay. And so here it is said that we don't need in this Kali Yuga, right? We cannot read all the Vedas, we cannot read everything. That's what this sloka says. It's enough we just read Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita uh, is a condensed version. We'll see it in the next shloka. It is a condensed version of all the Upanishads. All the Upanishads. So in terms of Upanishads as different vakyas, for example, in Ishopanishad, it has different statements, and then they will come to a conclusion at the end, right? So likewise, there are hundreds of Upanishads, out of which 108, and out of which 10 Upanishads, Dashopanishads, are very famous, for which Adi Shankaracharya has given commentary. But in all those Upanishads, when you condense them, when you get the conclusion of those Upanishads, there are 32 tattvas, 32 lessons, 32 final conclusions that you can come, the Acharyas explain. You can find all those 32 conclusions of the Upanishads in Bhagavad Gita. So when you read Bhagavad Gita, it is as if you're reading all the Upanishads. So in Ishopanishads, the first shloka is Isha Vasam Idam Sarvam. The conclusion is, right, Lord is everywhere. Lord is a controller. That is the conclusion of Ishopanishad after many statements. You will find that conclusion in Bhagavad Gita. So that is the reason this says we don't need to read different like Vedic literatures. We need to just read Bhagavad Gita. That means we will be reading everything. It's also because we need to have a belief in Vedic wisdom. It is said, and the Shastra said that if you have a weighing machine and if you put 100 mothers and one Veda, right? The Vedas are compared like mother, and it is better than 1,000 mothers. So Vedas always gives the correct, instruction, what needs to be done, what should not be done. So, and in this Kali Yuga, we have Alpa Ayush, Manda Buddhi, time of quarrelsome and everything. It is getting worse and worse each and every day. We cannot spend time. So it's better to read Bhagavad Gita. And let me go to the next slide. So here, the other shloka, Ganges, when we take bath in Ganges, you attain salvation, liberation. Likewise, but the same thing happened when you read Bhagavad Gita as well. The Ganges emerge. It is from it comes from the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, what happens when the Trivikrama Vamana avatar, for the third, I think you may be knowing, the third foot, right? The Trivikrama, the second foot, it took it into the heaven. It went into Brahmaloka, and Brahma saw the foot of Trivikrama. Then using his Kamandala, he washed the feet of Trivikrama. So that water, Lord Shiva took it on his head, and then it came as Ganges. That is his story background. That is for salvation. But think about the Bhagavad Gita, which comes from the mouth of the God. That is another. And the Gita Mahatmya 6 is very, very interesting shloka. Sarvopanishado gavaha dogda gopala nandanaha pato vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdam gita amritam mahat. So we know Krishna is a Gopala, is a cowhead boy, right? And he's a cowhead boy. But the sloka says he has all the Upanishads as cows, and then he milks them. But which is the calf? Calf is Arjuna. Arjuna is the calf, right? So for Arjuna, for the sake of Arjuna only, Krishna gave this Bhagavad Gita, and which is applicable for all us. So Krishna has milked the cow of all the Upanishads on behalf of Arjuna. So who is going to drink the milk? It is us, right? The devotees who are trying to understand Krishna's Nama, Guna, Rupa, Leela, right? Everything. So we are going to drink that Gita Upanishad. And the last one is also very interesting. It says that we have a lot of shastrams, better. Srini, you want to read this? Ekam Shastram.
एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा.
So, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be only one scripture, that is Bhagavad Gita. Let there be only one God, that is Sri Krishna. Let there be only one mantra, that is holy name, right? So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, this is the Mahatmyam of Bhagavad Gita. So, only when we understand what is in it for me, how it's going to impact, right? So sometimes we may not be able to understand, conceive, how this is going to help. So we have to have faith in the Vedic literature. That is very important, right? So, for example, there are three types of pramanas. One is Pratyaksha pramana, Anumana pramana, and Shabda pramana. Pratyaksha pramana means the information that we gather through our senses. Like, for example, in the morning, I see sun, that is Pratyaksha Pramana. In the next day, I see, sorry. In the next day, I see, I want to see something, sorry. Sorry. In the next day, I don't see sun, right? Then I will do Anumana. That means I will infer. I say, okay, yesterday I've seen sun. It comes every day, right? So that means the sun is there. It is because of the cloud. The sun is hidden. That is Anumana. And the third one is, like, for example, if a scientist, they astronauts, they say astronomy, the sun is at such a distance, it takes 8 minutes of this for the sunlight to reach Earth, and sun is full of solar flame, and it is affecting magnetic. Those are, after research, they come to a conclusion. That is Shabda Pramana, from the authority. We don't question scientists, right? Likewise, Vedas are like authorities. We can keep on questioning, the Vedic wisdom, Shastras, everything, but we're not going to end up anywhere. But that's why we need to have, the Acharyas and Shastras says that we have to have a full faith in the Vedic wisdom. In the Vedas, it says that cow dung is very pure, but it says everything else from all other excretion, bodily excretion from the living entity is gross. It's very impure, but the cow dung is pure. A lot of Western people have been making fun of us, until a couple of decades back. But now they realize the cow dung is antiseptic and antibacterial. If you put it even outside your house, it can even prevent the radioactivity. And those are things are described in the modern scientists. So that's the reason we need to have faith in the Vedas. The Shabda Pramana is more important, and also this type of literature, they are called apaurishya. Paurishya means done by man, human, but apaurishya means It's not done by human. It's from the God. Okay, any questions? Anything? Am I going in the right speed or am I confusing? Is it okay? Does it make sense? I'm trying to substantiate the need for reading Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic wisdom. Any questions? Okay, let me move on. So the mood for studying Bhagavad Gita. So we can get this information from Bhagavad Gita itself. And throughout the first chapter, Krishna won't speak anything. He'll just speak only one line. You park the chariot in front of Drona and Bhishma, and then ask Arjuna, see your relatives. That's it. In the whole of first chapter, Arjuna will be lamenting. Arjuna will be confused state. Krishna will not speak anything. Krishna is a great manager, great orator, and a great personal coach. He knows, right? And in the second chapter, on the seventh shloka, that's when Arjuna, who is a very dear devotee, very dear friend of Krishna, it transformed from friendship to, yeah, as a disciple. And Krishna takes up the position of a guru. So that's when Krishna started, giving him the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna says, I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So that should be our mood. If you are in that mood, right, we can learn. Otherwise, if you know anything, right, otherwise it will be mental speculation, and also we should read Bhagavad Gita in the way Arjuna has understood. And in the other chapters, like 4.3, where Krishna is telling Arjuna that because you are my devotee and as my friend, therefore you can understand the mystery of these transcendental signs. So that is another thing. If we understand Bhagavad Gita in a humble manner as a devotee or trying to be a devotee, inquisitive, trying to understand what Krishna says, what we can utilize it in our practical life, if we have that mood, then the knowledge will be revealed. We can understand here, but Krishna will also reveal the knowledge to us, because in one of the verses in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvasya Shaham Hridi Sannivishtaha Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Sarvasya Shaham Hridi Sannivishtaha. I am in everyone's heart as Paramatma, as Antaryami. Matta Smriti. Smriti means remembrance. Smriti Jnana means knowledge. Apohanam, forgetfulness. So within the heart, I provide the remembrance and knowledge and forgetfulness. So when we approach Krishna with devotion, when we genuinely, Krishna will reciprocate, will give us more remembrance and knowledge. But when we approach Krishna, as sort of questioning or trying to prove that Krishna is a normal person, everything, without devotion in a demonic manner, Krishna will make us forget him. So that's the reason, if you approach Krishna as a devotee mood, humble way, he will give us remembrance and knowledge. But when we go in a atheistic way, he'll make us to forget Krishna. And yes, all the yogas are covered in Bhagavad Gita. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Dhyana yoga, and Bhakti yoga. We will see one by one. This is a response to Swati Mataji. So I want to, in this regard, I want to narrate an incident. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the Krishna who came 500 years back. He visited Sri Rangam temple 500 years back. And when he was coming out of the temple, he saw a South Indian Brahmana who was trying to read Bhagavad Gita, but he could not understand the Sanskrit very well. He is making a lot of mistakes in pronouncing, but he was having goosebumps. He had hairs on the end of the hairs on end, and his body was, shivering, and tears welled up his ears, and everybody was making fun of him. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at him and went to him, asked him, what happened? Why you are in ecstasy? Why you are crying in ecstasy? And he said, Sir, my guru asked me to read Bhagavad Gita every day, but I'm not very good in Sanskrit. I'm trying to read, but I don't understand. But every time when I read Bhagavad Gita, one picture comes into my mind. I see Krishna as a charioteer, Parthasarathi, you know, and holding the reins of the horses. And he was blackish, Shama Sundara. He has taken a position of a charioteer, for Arjuna, since because Arjuna is his devotee. So how Bhakta Vachala is, right? The Supreme Lord get into that position for his devotee, right? You can control Krishna by through devotion. So what a great, absolute truth. What a great God Krishna is. That is the reason. Whenever I think about his tears well up in my ears, it gives me a lot of confidence and faith, right? Now we can always attract Krishna. So, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugged him. You understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You are the right authority to read Bhagavad Gita. So that is one thing I just want to highlight, the mood that we should have to read Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And so there are five subject matters explained in Bhagavad Gita, right? So Jiva, who am I? Right? That is one of the most important questions that every human being should ask. Who am I? What I'm doing here? Right? And then Prakriti, the material world. Where am I? Right? Where am I? So the first thing is who am I? The second is Prakriti. Where am I? The third is what I'm doing here. Karma. And the fourth one is Kala. How long I will be here? Time. And fifth one is there something beyond this Jiva, Prakriti, Karma, and Kala? That is God. So these are the five subject matters explained in Bhagavad Gita. And we can further condense them into three things, three subject matters: Chit, Achit, and Ishvara. Right? Chit means here Jiva. Achit means Prakriti, Karma, and Kala are Achit. And Ishvara is God. And if you see, these five subject matters are explained very nicely in Bhagavad Gita. When we understand this, we will understand, about the God and who we are. It will answer all our questions. So out of these things, who do you think is the greatest controller? Can anyone answer? You can unmute. Who is the greater controller of all these five?
God?
Yes, Ishvara is the greatest control. He controls everything. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. The material energy, everything comes from God. And out of all this, which are eternal? Eternal means there is no measure in time. It has been there always. Of all these five, which are eternal?
Jiva and Kala.
Uh,
It's our soul and time.
partially correct.
Okay.
Any other take? Or we can say which is not eternal. Can you say that which is not eternal?
Prakriti.
Okay, any other take?
Ishwar.
Oh, God is always eternal, right? God is always there. And any other?
Except Ishvara, everything is non-eternal.
Right. So, any other attempt?
Karma.
Jiva.
Okay. Any other? Okay. I will. What is it? Say, what is it? Which is not eternal.
Karma and Kala.
Yes. So correct, almost right. So Jiva is eternal. So Ishvara is eternal. God is eternal. God is always there. And we are also always there. We are part and parcel of Krishna, part and parcel of the Lord. We have always been there. That is why we normally coin the word, right? Sanatana Dharma. What is our eternal Dharma? What is our eternal duty, right? God is always there. Jiva is always there. And Prakriti is also there. It's always there. But it will annihilate and then it will come up. Now, after 4 yugas, it is getting annihilated, and then another 4 yugas. It goes on and on. Though it is temporary, but it goes on and on. So Prakriti is also eternal. Kala, time, is also eternal. It's always there. The only thing that is not eternal is karma. Karma means we do karma, right? Life after life after life after, we do karma. It is also going like eternal for normal conditioned soul like me, right? Conditioned soul. It is going on and on. But how can I cut this karma? I have a free will to do that by surrendering to the Lord, by doing devotional service. I cut all the sinful reactions, and then when I don't have a sinful reactions, right? By at the end of this birth, we can go back to Vaikuntha. So that this karma is not eternal. We have a free will to control that karma, right? So that is one thing which is not eternal. Karma can be, you can change the course of your direction. And here I put together all these things here. As the souls living in this material world, we are performing activities within this jurisdiction of time, though we actually belong to the spiritual world, right? With God. So all these 5 things are here. So if you here, Bhagavad Gita, right? The context is war. It all started with war, but the content is about life here as well as life afterwards. The Bhagavad Gita not only talks about the art of living in this world, it also talks about art of leaving this world. Krishna gives a lot of tips. Antima Smriti, all of the things it gives, how to get out of this world, and go back to Vaikuntha, a place of no misery. In Bhagavad Gita, you will find, you knowledge about the soul, knowledge about this temporary body, art of working without any reactions, and the 3 modes of nature that is controlling us, and about regulated habits, and how to speak, how to eat, how to recreate, how to donate, how to control your mind, how to control your senses, how to do meditation, how to do devotional service, what are the powers of the gods, what are the assets of the god, how to do things with attachment, without attachment, everything. It gives a complete package. And that is why the acharyas explain that Bhagavad Gita is actually a manual for humans. But unfortunately, in some places, right, we always keep Bhagavad Gita in the puja room, generation after generation, but sometimes we don't read it. This is a great manual for human beings. And okay, I think we're almost there. I'll take 5 minutes. Okay, the Bhagavad Gita, as I mentioned, it's a jewel box, right? Here, it talks about 3 main yogas. Of course, Dhyana Yoga is also there. It's also called as Ashtanga Yoga. It is the 6th chapter. But mainly, it talks about Karma Yoga. Yoga, by the definition of Patanjali, it's like how we connect our consciousness to the God, how we link our consciousness to the God. That is called as yoga. When we link our consciousness to the God through work, right? That is called as karma yoga. when we link our consciousness to the Lord through jnana, through knowledge, that is called as jnana yoga. When we connect our consciousness to the God, when we link our consciousness to the God through bhakti, it is called as bhakti yoga. So Karma Yoga is the first 6 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. Jnana Yoga is the last 6 chapters, and Bhakti Yoga is the middle 6 chapters. So it is like packed like a jewel box. So in the Shastras, you will always find the information will be hidden in between, right? Unlike our regular documentations, right? It will be hidden in the between. That's why we need the help of the acharyas to identify the real jewel and show it to us. Right. So bhakti, though jnana yoga, karma yoga are there, and dhyana yoga is also there, more emphasis is given to the bhakti yoga because through bhakti yoga one can control Krishna as well. Okay, and it's almost time. So these are the quick statistics on Bhagavad Gita. It is part of the Bhishma Parva, and there are 18 chapters. A number of shlokas are 700. Krishna spoke 574 shlokas, Arjuna 84, and Sanjaya, who's the assistant to Dhritarashtra, spoke 41, and Dhritarashtra spoke only 1 shloka. And there is some significance of the number 18. There are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. There are 18 days. The battle was fought in Kurukshetra. There are 18 Puranas. There are 18 Akshovinis that fought within the battlefield in Kurukshetra. So who heard the Bhagavad Gita? 5,000 years back, Arjuna heard it, Sanjaya heard it, Hanuman, who was on the flag of Arjuna, heard it, and Dhritarashtra heard it. But actually, Krishna says in the 4th chapter, he also explained this Bhagavad Gita to Vivaswan, who is a sun god currently, and who shared that knowledge with Manu, who is none other than son of Vivaswan, and who shared that knowledge with Ikshvaku, and then it went on like a Raja Rishis. So this is like a quick statistics. And the another statistic that I want to highlight is that Krishna is called in different names within Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is called by 33 names, and he's called as Madhava, Madhusudana, Janardana, Achyuta, Jagannatha, Maheshwara, lot of names. And same Arjuna was called with the 12 names, like Mahabahu, Kaunteya, and Pandava, and different names. This is like a quick recap, statistics on Bhagavad Gita. I know we are on time. Probably this will take 5 minutes. If it is okay, I will continue. Otherwise, Bhishma Parva is like a different cantos, within Bhagavata. Mahabharata. So this is one Parva. Within the Bhishma Parva, this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. And is it okay if I take 5 minutes of this time and then complete this?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Sorry, I will just take 5 minutes. Now, we need to understand how Bhagavad Gita affects our consciousness, right? If you see in this shloka, right? Ahar nidra bhaya maitunam cha samanyam etat pashubihi. Both animals and humans share the same activities of doing, right? Like we eat, sleep, mate, and defend. Even the animals, this is one of the Hitobadesha. It says we have a commonalities between animal and us. But the only difference is that only human being can inquire about God. Only human being can change the course of his karma. Only human beings can do devotional service and get out of the samsara of birth and life, birth and death, in this material world. And the other very famous Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jignasa. This is the first Vedanta Sutra, by Vyasadeva. Yes, Sutra is a summarized version of the Vedic knowledge where Vyasadeva has put together Athato Brahma Jignasa. We need to inquire, who am I? Who is God? Why am I here? Those type of questions. So as we mentioned in the previous slide, Bhagavad Gita answers all of these questions. Now, if you read Bhagavad Gita, you are doing a justification to yourself. and it improves the consciousness. So I will just quickly tell a story of king and the hunter. So once there was a famous king. He went to the forest with a small son, but unfortunately he lost the son. And he tried to search, but he could not find that son. And he came back, the king came back, but the son was brought up by a hunter. So when he was brought up as a hunter, he was, hunting the animals, eating the flesh and everything. But the king was always keeping the son in mind. So after some time, he has sent a minister to the forest. But fortunately, the minister was able to contact the son. And then he explained, hey, you are not a normal boy. You are the son of a king. There is a kingdom waiting for you. This is not your job. Okay, you need to come back. And then that son said, no, sir, I have elderly parents here. I need to stay here for some time, but I will come later, after a certain period. So, but now it does the same thing. He was hunting, he was, doing everything the same, but his consciousness now changed. Now he is thinking that I'm not a person, I'm not a hunter, I'm the son of a king. There is a whole kingdom waiting for me. This is not my permanent place, right? And that's how his consciousness and changed. It is like the same thing will happen, when we read Bhagavad Gita, our consciousness will change. We will know who we are. We are the spirit soul, and who is the God, right? And we do not belong to this place. Those type of information that we'll get to know by reading Bhagavad Gita, because that type of consciousness is very important. Otherwise, as we all know, we are being transmigrating from one body to another body based on our desires and consciousness. Now, if I have a desire, for example, if I'm ignorant, if I'm sleeping a lot, in this lifetime, most of the time, I'll be born as a sloth or bear next lifetime. If I am very much interested into scuba diving, I want to do the scuba diving always underneath the sea, the nature will provide as a suitable body to be a shark in my next life. But if I think about the Lord and do as devotional service and offering the activities to the Lord, and what Krishna says is, at the time of death, we will remember Krishna and we will go back to Godhead. So, like I put it here, right? I go to a clothes shop, right, by wearing a shirt, and then buy a t-shirt, right? Likewise, in this birth, I am preparing another body. Like here, caterpillar, while it is on one leaf, it is prepared, it is going to the another leaf. So this is our current life. We are already preparing a future life, right? So if you have, that's the reason the consciousness and the desire that we have is very important. Now we see a lot of stories in Bhagavatam, right? If at the time of death, when one thinks of his pet dog, right? In the next birth, that person will become a pet dog. Like King Bharata, when he was dying, he was thinking about deer. So he was born as a deer. If a person, at the time of death is thinking about his house, right? In the next birth, he'll be born as a tree in the house. Now, that is what our Garuda Purana says. So our consciousness is very important. Like another example, when I want to move to a different house, I make all the arrangements, and then only I move to the different house. I don't take all the things into the street, and then I don't go to the new house. Likewise, I'm already preparing a new body already, based on my desire, consciousness, everything, and based on my karma also as well. So that's the reason we can change our course of next body, by understanding the Bhagavad Gita and implementing. They're all very easily, applicable to us. Krishna says, Swalpam abhyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayad. Even if you make some improvements in the devotional path, as per the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna assures you won't be born as as an animal's lower kingdom. At least you will be born as a human being in the next birth, and you will continue thereafter in our Krishna consciousness, in your devotion. So that's very important. And I put together a shloka. So whatever we do, right, we need to just think about the Lord. I'm sleeping, eating, I'm working, we are not going to do anything different. Like the hunter, he'll be still doing hunting and everything, but his mindset is I'm the son of the king, and I don't belong to this place. And his attitude, his consciousness changes. Like what Krishna is said, Arjuna, you should also always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time, continue your prescribed duty of fighting. Continue the duty of, our duty in this world, right? So it is very important that we continue this yajna of studying Bhagavad Gita together. Now, sometimes we will say that we may not have time, or we are in a distressed and confused state. But if you think about Arjuna in the battlefield, he was in the most distressed state. He was confused. Then he went to Krishna, and he does not have any time. They are on the battlefield. They are about to fight, right? Then he went to Krishna and understood Bhagavad Gita. Likewise, this Bhagavad Gita is not for sannyasis or brahmacharis. This is for the grahasthas, because the person who is speaking Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, was a grahastha when he was speaking, and Arjuna, who was listening, was a grahastha, household person. So this is for household people like us. And when we are in distress, nothing should prevent us from studying this Bhagavad Gita and doing this yajna just 45 minutes every week. So I request you to all to come to this, a session every week. Sorry, it took a little bit more, but next week onwards, I'll try to, do it in a compressed way. So, but I want to make sure that we understand each and every Bhagavad Gita in a shloka in an easy way, so that we can implement it in our day-to-day life. With that, thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions or any comments?
In upcoming classes, will we go through Bhagavad Gita chapter by chapter, sloka by
Yes.
sloka? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Subsequent chapters, in the sessions, I will have the slides here. I'll prepare slides for the shlokas. We will go in depth study, understand, at the same time, understand how it is applicable to our life, right? We will go in depth, because in many of the sessions in Bhagavad Gita, you will find they will do one session, one chapter, but I don't want to go that way. I want to make it like a systematic study of Bhagavad Gita. And also we will study the shlokas as well. Now I also put it in one of the flyer. We will systematically study the shloka. I want to have a consistent crowd. Now after a month or so, we will spend some time in how to recite the shloka, how to memorize the shloka, those type of things. We will do it. And last but not the least, this will be our going forward, 7:50 to 8 p.m. We will have a quick live kirtan. I'm sorry about what happened today. There was some technical glitch. And at 8 a.m., we will have a quick shloka, because Bhagavad Gita has a lot of very nice shlokas. Now, when we read it, it will energize us. And then recap of last week's content. And then we will take a deep dive of 5 to 7 shlokas. And, not only theoretical, right? We also want to understand how the great Mahatmas, Acharyas, Arvars, right? Advanced devotees in Pandar, in Pandharpur, devotees of Panduranga, and devotees in Mayapur, how they are implementing this Bhagavad Gita day in, day out. We will have discussion about Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Srila Prabhupada, and everybody. So our Bhagavad Gita will be based on the commentaries from uh, Srila Prabhupada and Vishwanath Chakravarti, Das Thakur, and Baladeva Vidyabhushan, and also from Ramanujacharya. So those are the commentaries that I'm looking and then trying to get the information and present it here. And also we will discuss together as well, starting from next class. Sorry, I spoke a lot. Anything else? I hope that you were able to understand what I said.
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely. It was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I request you all to come to this, session, starting next week. As I mentioned, it is like a yajna, as mentioned by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you
Hare
very much,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.